Expand your vocabulary with our Core 2,000 Words ebook. It's free and packed with essential expressions that you'll use on a daily basis. Start building your vocabulary today. Click the link in the description below to download your free Filipino ebook before it's gone.
Hello sa inyong lahat, ako si Erica. Ang Araw ng Kalayaan ay pinagdiriwang tuwing ika-12 ng Hunyo taon-taon. Hindi lamang sa Pilipinas ipinagdiriwang ang araw na ito. Kung saan man may Pilipino, may selebrasyon rin. Sa araw na ito, nagbabalik tanaw sa kasaysayan ang mga Pilipino at inaalala nila ang mga bayaning nagbuwis ng kanilang buhay para makamit ang kalayaan ng bansa. Tara, alamin natin kung paano ipinagdiriwang ng mga Pilipino ang espesyal na araw na ito. Alam niyo ba na dalawa ang araw ng kalayaan ng Pilipinas? Isa noong ika-12 ng Hunyo. Alam niyo ba kung kailan yung isa pa? Sasabihin namin ang sagot sa katapusan ng video na ito. Sa araw na ito, sabay-sabay na itinataas ang watawat ng Pilipinas kasabay ang pagkanta ng lupang hinirang sa iba't ibang makasaysayang lugar sa bansa. Ito'y dahil noong ika-12 ng Hunyo, taong 1898, naganap ang unang pagtataas ng bandila at unang pagkanta ng pambansang awit bilang isang malayang bansa. Pagdating ng hapon, ang mga paggunita at paradang sibil-militar ay ipinagpapatuloy sa Quirino Grandstand. Dumadalo ang presidente, vice-presidente at ang iba't ibang mahalagang mga bisita sa paradang ito. Nakapaloob rin sa parada ang iba't ibang marching band at karosa. Maliban dito, mayroon ring mga pagtatanghal ng mga koro at pangkat ng mananayaw upang ipagdiwang ang araw. Ang mga Pilipinong naninirahan sa labas ng Pilipinas ay may kanya-kanya ring paraan ng pagdiriwang. Isa na rito ang Parada ng Kalayaan sa New York City tuwing unang linggo ng Hunyo. Naging parte na ng tradisyon ng mga Pilipino sa Amerika ang paradang ito at nagsisilbi itong pagkakataon upang ipakilala ang kulturang Pilipino, makalikom ng pera pangkawang gawa, at makapagsama-sama ang mga Pilipino roon. Sa ika-28 ng Mayo pa lamang, sa tinaguriang Araw ng Watawat, nagsisimula ng maglagay ng bandila ang mga tao sa kani-kanilang mga bahay. Mula sa malalaking establishmento hanggang sa mga maliliit na tindahan, marami ang naglalagay ng mga makabayang palamuti para sa selebrasyon ng kalayaan. At ngayon, ibibigay ko na ang sagot sa tanong kanina. Alam niyo ba na dalawa ang araw ng kalayaan ng Pilipinas? Isa noong ika-12 ng Hunyo. Alam niyo ba kung kailan yung isa pa? Ang unang araw ng kalayaan ng Pilipinas ay noong ika-12 ng Hunyo taong 1898 mula sa Espanya. Ang ikalawa ay naganap naman noong ika-4 ng Hulyo taong 1946 mula sa Amerika na ngayon ay tinatawag na Philippine-American Friendship Day. Kamusta ang lesson na ito? May interesanteng bagay ba kayong natutunan? Kayo, paano niyo ipinagdiriwang ang inyong araw ng kalayaan? Mag-iwan kayo ng komento sa filipinopod101.com. Hanggang sa susunod na lesson!
Hey everyone! Welcome to the Monthly Review, the monthly show on language learning, where you discover new learning strategies, motivational tips, study tools, and resources. By the way, all the lessons and bonuses you're about to see can be downloaded for free on our website. So, click the link in the description right now to sign up for your free lifetime account. Okay, today's topic is, are you an introvert or an extrovert? And how to speak more of your target language. Since you're learning the language, then you're very much aware of the importance of speaking, which can be easy if you're an extrovert or hard if you're an introvert. So, how can you speak more if you're on the shy side? Keep watching this month's episode. You'll discover who learns faster, extroverts or introverts, why learning a language can help you become more extroverted, and 5 ways to speak more, even if you're an introvert. But first, if you're looking for new free language resources and downloads, here are this month's new lessons and resources. Be sure to download these now before we take them down in a few days. First, the Sport and Exercise Conversation Cheat Sheet. Want to talk about fitness in your target language? You'll learn over 50 words and phrases for sports and exercise with this brand new cheat sheet. Second, the 40 words and phrases for ordering food writing workbook. With this free resource, you'll pick up must-know words and phrases for the restaurant and practice writing them out as well. Third, the top 12 April Fool's phrases. Want to be able to say some outrageous phrases in your target language for April Fool's Day? Then you'll want this April Fool's phrase list. Fourth, can you talk about your bones in your target language? Learn how to say words like skull, ribs, spine, and much more with this quick vocab bonus. Fifth, 20 must-know jewelry vocabulary. Do you know how to say earrings or necklace in your target language? If you don't, then this vocab lesson is for you. To get your free resources, click the link in the description below right now. They're yours to keep forever. Okay, let's jump into today's topic. Are you an introvert or an extrovert? And how to speak more of your target language. Part 1. Do extroverts or introverts learn languages faster? If you've ever wondered whether introverts or extroverts learn the language faster, there have been studies done on this. And as you'd expect, extroverts do have an advantage when it comes to speaking and overall conversational skills. Of course, these studies didn't take into account mistakes you may make, such as grammar, vocab, etc. And introverts? Introverts tend to observe and listen more, and tend to be better listeners. Do you agree with these findings? Leave a comment. So the key takeaway is they each have their own advantages. One has something that the other lacks. And that makes sense, doesn't it? If you speak less, your speaking skills will be weaker. And if you want to just speak a lot, you get good at speaking but miss out on the other skills, like listening and reading. So unfortunately, you can't really say who learns faster based on personality alone, just that each one has their advantages and disadvantages. But personality aside, success with a language will always depend on your attitude towards learning itself and how much time you put in. The person that has a better chance of becoming fluent will always be the one that puts in more time to learn, practice, get feedback, adjust with the feedback, and not so much about whether they're extroverted or introverted. But what if you're an introvert who wants to be able to speak more? Is there a way to become more extroverted? Part 2. How to speak more, even if you're an introvert. There are ways to become more extroverted, at least more than your usual self. How? Well, first, by learning a language. When you learn a language, you have a natural desire to connect with native speakers, even if you're shy. Also, native speakers tend to be very supportive and welcoming when you're trying to learn their language. So even if you're shy, it's kind of hard to stay shy in the long run when the people you speak with are so encouraging. In your native language, even if you know a million ways to start a conversation, you might not try to speak to someone because you're worried about whether you have something clever to say or the timing or some other social aspect. But in another language, where you may only know a few phrases, you're not bogged down by that. You just do the best you can with the few phrases you have. Plus, learning a language alone gives you a chance to reinvent yourself. To learn another language is to acquire another soul, as the quote goes. So, learning a language alone puts you on a path towards becoming more extroverted. But if you want specific tips, here are 5 ways to speak more, even if you're an introvert. Number 1. Learn how to listen like an introvert. How can this help you to speak more? Introverts tend to listen more, and the better listener you become, the better questions you can ask, which results in a more meaningful conversation, which also means more speaking time for you. So you can speak more, even if you consider yourself an introvert, by listening well and asking relevant and pertinent questions. By the way, if you want to learn how to ask questions, then check out our top 25 questions you need to know, where you'll learn all about what to ask and answer regarding the most common conversational questions. Number 2, increase speaking time and confidence through experience. Simply put, the more experiences you have in life or experience with certain topics, the more knowledgeable you become. And as your life or work experiences grow, so will your audience. You'll find people coming to you to talk to you. It could be about business, travel, or just your own life stories. If a conversation is about France, and if you've been to France, the conversation will gravitate towards you. Having all that experience makes things easy for you as an introvert. People will come to you, so you don't have to find them. For a language learner, the tricks are to 1. Be knowledgeable about something, and 2. Be able to talk about your experience in the target language. Number 3. Find the right audience. Imagine talking to someone that's not interested in learning languages. They'll give you 100 reasons why they can't learn, never reasons why it might work out for them, right? But when you're talking to an audience that's interested in languages, then you can have a conversation that could go on for hours. So find the right audience to share with. With language learning, it means you need to find native speakers that share the same hobbies or interests as you. Number 4, talk about what you know best. The introvert-extrovert dynamic also depends on how much you know about a topic and what you're most comfortable with. There are topics you may not know enough about, so you won't talk as much. But even the biggest introvert can become a confident speaker once you touch upon a topic they know well. That's where they shine. So if your goal is to be more extroverted, then focus on the things you know about. Or you can always gain experience in topics you don't know much about so you can speak more. Number 5, create opportunities to speak. How? Well, it's hard to stop a stranger and start talking with them without any context, right? But what if you need help finding something at a store, or have a question about a dish at a restaurant? Then it's much easier since you're there with a purpose. So you can create these opportunities by going to a restaurant from the country that speaks your target language and speaking with the staff, or asking a taxi driver a question, or asking staff at an information booth a question. So to recap, if you want to speak more, even if you're an introvert, 1, listen like an introvert. 2, increase speaking time and confidence through experience. 3, find the right audience. 4, talk about what you know best. And 5, create opportunities to speak. So thank you for watching this episode of Monthly Review. Next time, we'll talk about how tipping points will bring you closer to your language goals. If you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. And if you're ready to finally learn language the fast, fun, and easy way and start speaking from your very first lesson, get our complete learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account right now. Click the link in the description. See you next time. Bye!
Hello sa inyong lahat, ako si Erica. Ang araw ng Eid al-Fitr ay ang pagdiriwang ng mga Muslim ng unang araw ng Shawwal. Nagpapahiwatig ito ng pagtatapos ng isang buwan ng pag-aayuno at pagdarasal. Para sa maraming Pilipino, kinikilala ito bilang wakas ng Ramadan at ipinagdiriwang ng parehong mga Kristiyano at Muslim na mga Pilipino. Ang petsa ng pagdiriwang na ito ay nakabase sa kalendaryong Islam at nagaganap matapos ang unang gabi ng bagong buwan. Halina't alamin natin kung paano ipinagdiriwang ng mga Pilipino ang araw na ito. Ang araw na ito ay kamakailan lamang ginawang opisyal na holiday. Alam niyo ba kung kailan ito naipatupad? Sasabihin namin ang sagot sa katapusan ng video na ito. Inuumpisahan ng mga Muslim ang pagdiriwang ng araw na ito sa pamamagitan ng paliligo, pagsusuot ng pinakamaganda nilang damit, paglalagay ng pabango, at pagkain ng matatamis bago tumungo sa moske para magdasal. Ang unang dasal ng Eid ay ginagawa bilang isang kongregasyon sa mga moske o sa mga naitalagang open space para sa pagdarasal. Sunod sa ikalawang haligi ng Islam, humaharap ang kongregasyon sa direksyon ng Mecca. Sinusundan ang dasal ng Eid ng khutbah na pinangungunahan ng imam. Karaniwang ang mga sermon ay tungkol sa pagpapasalamat sa Panginoon, kasaysayan at kahalagahan ng pagdiriwang, paghingi ng kapatawaran sa kapwa, at ang mga responsibilidad para sa ikatlong haligi ng Islam, ang zakat. Matapos ito, magbabatian at magyayakapan ng mga magkakatabi. Ang mga tradisyonal na pagbati gaya ng Eid Mubarak o Eid Said ang karaniwang maririnig. Ang araw na ito ay puno ng handaan, kasiyahan at pasasalamat. Nagbibigayan ng mga tao ng Eid sa kani-kanilang mga pamilya. Mayroon ring partikular na zakat na ibinibigay sa araw na ito. Ito ay ang fitrana, na tinatawag ding zakat al-fitr. Para sa mga Muslim, isa itong masayang selebrasyon ng pasasalamat sa Panginoon. Isa rin itong pagdiriwang na sumisimbolo ng pagkakaisa ng mga Muslim. Ang Pilipinas ay kinikilalang isang Kristiyanong bansa sa Asya. Ngunit ang Pilipinas rin ang natatanging Kristiyanong bansa na isinabatas ang pagdiriwang ng Eid al-Fitr at itinuring ito bilang pambansang holiday. At ngayon, ibibigay ko na ang sagot sa tanong kanina. Kamakailan lamang ginawang opisyal na holiday ang araw na ito? Alam niyo ba kung kailan ito naipatupad? Naipatupad ang pagiging pambansang holiday nito noong taong 2002. Layunin ng pagpapatupad nito na magkaisa ang bansa, Kristiyano man o Muslim, sa pagpapahalaga sa mga araw na may importansya sa bawat isa. Kamusta ang lesson na ito? May interesanteng bagay ba kayong natutunan? May mga pagdiriwang pa ba kayong alam na kahalintulad nito? Mag-iwan kayo ng komento sa filipinopod101.com. Hanggang sa susunod na lesson!
Hey everyone, welcome to the Monthly Review, the monthly show on language learning, where you discover new learning strategies, motivational tips, study tools, and resources. By the way, all the lessons and bonuses you're about to see can be downloaded for free on our website. So click the link in the description right now to sign up for your free lifetime account. Okay, today's topic is how to learn a language in 2022. If you're planning to learn a language in 2022, then this episode is for you, especially if you want to finally succeed with your New Year's resolution, instead of failing or giving up in the next week or two. That's why today you'll discover 1. The 4 critical steps you need to take when learning a new language, and 2. How to set goals and New Year's resolutions that won't fail you in 2022. But first, if you're looking for some free language resources and downloads, here are this month's new lessons and resources. Be sure to download these now before we take them down in a few days. First, the Using Opposites Conversation Cheat Sheet. With this new cheat sheet, you'll learn common opposite adjectives like near and far, hot and cold, and grammar rules on how to use these words in a sentence. Second, the How to Say Goodbye PDF Writing Workbook. With this printable PDF, you'll pick up some common parting greetings and be able to practice writing them out. Third, can you talk about cars in your target language? Learn how to say words like tire, windshield, headlights, and more with this quick vocab bonus. Fourth, must know words and phrases for public transportation. Learn how to say ticket, bus, train, and much more with this quick 1-minute lesson. Fifth, the 10 habits of highly effective language learners. Wondering which habits will help you succeed with language learning? Then check out this free lesson. To get your free resources, click the link in the description below right now. They're yours to keep forever. Okay, let's jump into today's topic. How to learn a language in 2022. Part 1. The 4 critical steps you need to take when learning a new language. Every time you start a new language, you should start with 1. Goals, 2. Anchor points, 3. Grammar, 4. Reading. What are these 4 steps, and why do you need them to succeed with language learning? Let's jump in. The first one is goals. Everything starts with a goal, but your goal itself can also lead you to failure if you don't set it the right way. So more specifically, you need to set small, measurable monthly goals instead of just, I want to learn a language and be fluent this year. We'll cover goals in the second part of this episode, so stay tuned. After goals, the second step is setting anchor points. What are anchor points? Imagine a small ship in the middle of a big lake. It's windy, lots of waves, and the ship is bobbing up and down, drifting all around. What would you use to stop the ship from drifting away? An anchor. And just like an anchor keeps the ship in place, anchor points keep you from drifting away from your language. So an anchor point is a connection to the language that keeps you attached to the language and motivated to learn the language. One great example is language school. Imagine you signed up and paid thousands of dollars up front. Paying that much would motivate you to make the most of your time there. It's also a big commitment, one that you can't easily back out of. And school dictates your schedule. You have to wake up early, you have to do homework. Your life revolves around the classes. And as such, language school and the language itself become anchor points that your life revolves around. Anchor points can also be family or a partner that speaks the language you're learning. You're around them, you're exposed to the language, so your motivation to learn gets a bit stronger. Buying a language learning program or textbook are also examples of good anchor points. You invested your hard-earned money, which means you're serious about learning. Plus, you want to make sure your investment doesn't go to waste, so you're more motivated. If you're wondering if you have any anchor points, you already have at least one. You're watching our lessons on YouTube. But the more anchor points you have, the stronger your motivation will be. So if you're into music or TV shows in your target language, those can serve as anchor points too. These are things that connect you to the language and add a bit of motivation to learn more, or at the very least, understand what you're watching or listening to. We covered goals and anchor points. What's next? The third step is you must have a good grasp of grammar of your native language. Now, you might wonder, if you're learning a new language, why focus on your native language? Well, as native speakers, the problem is we know what good grammar sounds like, but we can't explain how or why our language works the way it works. So if you don't have a good grasp of grammar, the backbone or the rules of a language, then you'll have a tough time learning a new language. You'll jump in and start learning words and phrases, but you'll never learn how to put them together and make sentences. That's a common problem beginners have. Now, if you already know the grammar of your native language, how do you apply that to your target language? For example, if you're an English speaker, and if you know that English sentences follow the subject, verb, object pattern, and if you know that languages have specific sentence patterns, then you'd go look at patterns. Then you'd have a good idea of how to create your own sentences, instead of learning random words first. Finally, the fourth step is reading. Reading is good simply because you can do it anywhere, anytime, and without a teacher. It's a skill you can get started on day one, on your own. Reading also tends to spill over into other areas. The more you read, the more words and grammar rules you come across, so you boost your vocabulary and grammar, which can seep into speaking and listening. If you read out loud, you're practicing two skills at once. Now, we've covered what you need: goals, anchor points, reading, and grammar. Setting anchor points, knowing your own grammar, and reading are simple enough, but how do you set goals that don't lead you to failure? Part 2. How to set goals and New Year's resolutions that won't fail you in 2022. The goal that you set can make or break your language learning journey, so setting the right goals makes all the difference between success and failure. Just think about all of the common New Year's resolutions. What comes to mind? Goals like, I want to be fluent someday. I want to speak the language. I want to lose weight. I want to save more money. These big, vague goals often lead to failure because you simply have no idea how to approach the goal and you don't know what you're aiming for. Instead, your goals should be small, measurable, and monthly. For example, speak 1 minute of conversation by the end of the month. Learn 100 words by the end of the month. Finish chapter 1 of your language textbook by the end of the month. If you're using our program, finish 20 audio lessons by the end of the month. All of these are small and specific. 1 minute, 100 words, 1 chapter, 20 audio lessons. This means that they're easy to reach, unlike something vague like fluency. They're also measurable. You know when you reach 1 minute. You can check if you know all 100 words or if you finished all 20 lessons. If you aim for fluency, you won't know when you hit it. It's too vague and too big of a goal, and it may take years to hit. Finally, all of these goals have a deadline, the end of the month. That would mean January 31st of this year. Deadlines give you a clear date to aim for, and without one, you'll forever be floating around without much progress. So set a deadline for the end of every month. So now that you know how to set small, measurable monthly goals, leave us a comment. What's your small, measurable monthly goal, and what's the deadline? So thank you for watching this episode of Monthly Review. If you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. And if you're ready to finally learn language the fast, fun, and easy way and start speaking from your very first lesson, get our complete learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account right now. Click the link in the description. See you next time. Bye!
Hello sa inyong lahat, ako si Erica. Ang Sabado de Gloria ay ang huling araw ng pag-aayuno para sa mga Katoliko sa Pilipinas. Gaya ng ibang araw sa Semana Santa, patuloy pa rin ang taimtim na pag-alala sa sakripisyo ni Jesus sa araw na ito. Ang mga gawain sa araw na ito ay madalas na nakatutok sa mga paghahanda para sa selebrasyon ng muling pagkabuhay. Ang selebrasyong ito ay tinatawag na Salubong o Easter Vigil. Sa lesson na ito, malalaman natin ang mga halimbawa ng paghahanda na ginagawa ng mga Pilipino para sa muling pagkabuhay. Alam niyo ba kung bakit pinagbabawalan ng mga bata na maglaro sa kalye tuwing Biyernes Santo at Sabado de Gloria? Sasabihin namin ang sagot sa katapusan ng video na ito. Madalas, sa mga syudad, nananatili lamang ang mga tao sa kani-kanilang mga bahay. Pinagbabawal ang pagkain ng karne at pag-inom ng alak. Ngunit sa mga probinsya, karaniwang maraming mga paghahanda ang ginagawa, gaya ng prosesyon. Ang prosesyon na ito ay kakaiba sapagkat ang mga babae at lalaki ay hiwalay. Nagdadala ng kandila ang parehong mga babae at lalaki. Ngunit ang mga babae ang inaatasang sumunod sa imahe ng Birheng Maria habang ang mga lalaki naman ang sumusunod sa imahe ni Jesus. Matapos ang prosesyon, ang mga tao ay nagtitipon-tipon sa labas ng simbahan para sa isang ritual na pinangungunahan ng kura paroko. Matapos ito, susunod ang lahat ng mga tao papasok ng simbahang madilim. Dito, mula sa sindi ng kandila ng kura paroko, isa-isang masisindihan ang mga kandila ng mga parokyano. Sa loob ng isang saglit, ang buong simbahan ay magliliwanag sa pamamagitan ng mga sindi ng kandila ng bawat isa. Isa ito sa mga pinakataimtim na sandali ng pagdiriwang. Ang salubong ay ang pagsasadula ng pagtatagpo ng Birheng Maria at ng muling nabuhay na Jesus. Madalas, isa ito sa pinakamalaking pagsasadula na nagaganap sa mga parokya, liban na lang sa pagsasadula tuwing Pasko. Ang pagsasadulang ito ay tinatanghal sa gitna ng misa, kung saan ang misa ay nagsisimula sa takip silim, simbolo ng kamatayan ng dilim, at matapos ang maiksing dula ng muling pagkabuhay, natatapos ang misa sa bukang liwayway, na sumisimbolo sa muling pagkabuhay. Alam niyo ba na tinatawag itong Sabado de Gloria dahil ito ang unang araw matapos magsimula ang Kwaresma o Semana Santa, kung kailan maaaring kantahin na muli ang Gloria? At ngayon, ibibigay ko na ang sagot sa tanong kanina. Alam niyo ba kung bakit pinagbabawalan ng mga bata na maglaro sa kalye tuwing Biyernes Santo at Sabado de Gloria? Ito'y dahil sa pinaniniwalaan na kung ikaw ay masusugatan sa dalawang araw na ito, hindi na ito kailanman maghihilom dahil wala si Jesus para paghilumin ng mga sugat. Kamusta ang lesson na ito? May interesanteng bagay ba kayong natutunan? May mga katulad din ba kayong paniniwala tuwing Semana Santa? Mag-iwan kayo ng komento sa filipinopod101.com. Hanggang sa susunod na lesson!
Hey everyone, welcome to the Monthly Review, the monthly show on language learning, where you discover new learning strategies, motivational tips, study tools, and resources. By the way, all the lessons and bonuses you're about to see can be downloaded for free on our website. So click the link in the description right now to sign up for your free lifetime account. Okay, today's topic is, can busy people actually learn a language? You yourself probably have an answer to this question, right? But whether you can or can't actually has a bit more to do with your mindset than anything else. And in this guide, you'll discover 1. Is it possible for busy people to learn a language and the mindset needed? 2. Mental bandwidth, the one thing that can make or break your language goals. And 3. 5 mindset tricks to make time for language. But first, if you're looking for new free language resources and downloads, here are this month's new lessons and resources. Be sure to download these now before we take them down in a few days. First, the Talking Online PDF cheat sheet. Learn the must-know internet slang and all the internet-related vocab and phrases in your target language with this PDF cheat sheet. And second, the 40 words and phrases for ordering food writing workbook. With this free resource, you'll pick up must-know words and phrases for the restaurant and practice writing them out as well. To get your free resources, click the link in the description below right now. They're yours to keep forever. Can busy people actually learn a language? Part 1. Is it possible for busy people to learn a language and the mindset needed? So, can busy people actually learn a language? What do you think? Leave us a comment and let us know. As much as we want to say yes, it's more of a yes or no depending on the person. Why yes? Yes, because many of our members are busy and are learning with our system. And some of you who are watching also fall into this camp. But it also depends on the person because it's more of a mindset thing. Either you think you have time or you don't. For example, many of our members fall into the group of can learn and can find the time, even if they're busy. If you're busy and still want to learn, if you look around, you can always find 5 or 10 minutes a day, like on a commute. Now, if your mindset is the opposite, if you think you can't learn a language or you don't have time, you won't even try, even if you had a resource that was proven to work. Part 2. Mental bandwidth, the one thing that can make or break your language goals. And if you think about it, if you had all the time in the world but felt like you couldn't learn a language, you wouldn't try either. Again, this is why it comes down to the mindset and why it all depends on each individual person. Either you think you can or you think you can't. But it may not always be this black and white either. It can also depend on your mental bandwidth too. Think back to your school days, those few days before exams. It got really busy and you had to stop everything to study, right? You were probably thinking, if I can just get through studying this week and take the test, then next week I can finally start relaxing and doing other things. And if someone asked you if you wanted to hang out, you would say no, because you're busy. But chances are you still managed to spend at least 30 minutes on YouTube or social media. Meaning you did have some time, even if you were busy. But the test was occupying your mind and taking up all that bandwidth. So it's also possible that we just don't have the mental bandwidth because we're overwhelmed. And this is a genuine reason for not being able to learn when you're busy. Don't worry, in the next part, we'll show you how to get some bandwidth so that you don't feel overwhelmed. Part 3. 5 mindset tricks to make time for language. So if you've gotten this far, you understand that it is possible to start learning a language, even if you're busy, that you can find the time, but it mostly comes down to your mindset. So how can you develop the mindset? So when you're too busy, it feels like you're overwhelmed and like you don't have control of your time. Well, there are a few things you can do to gain some control of your time, have some breathing room, and learn a bit of language. First, always set small, measurable goals. This is something that we talk a lot about here. For example, learn for 10, 15, or 20 minutes every day. Learn 100 words in 1 month, which means learning 3 to 4 words a day. And the mindset behind this is just being realistic with your goals and what you can do. Because if you're busy, you may not have 1 or 2 hours. And this is a strict rule, especially when starting out with new goals and languages. Always stick to small, measurable goals. Second, lowering your goals and expectations is okay when things get super busy. If you couldn't learn all 100 words for the month and only got up to 40 or 60, that's okay. If you tried learning on Monday and Tuesday but skipped Wednesday and Thursday, that's okay. Sometimes you have to shift priorities, and prioritizing things is a secret to a successful life. You may not get to the goal you wanted to achieve today, but you can get to it next week. Third, it's okay to put language on pause if life gets in the way. Just like with that last point, you can always come back and reach your goal a little later. We often see learners put language on pause, come back later. Some even come back years later. But the key is to come back. Fourth, avoid the all-or-nothing mindset at all costs. And an all-or-nothing mindset is something you'll see in beginners and perfectionists. When you have this mindset, you'll say, language learning requires hours, so there's no point in learning for a few minutes today. But something is better than nothing, and even 5 to 10 minutes of review adds up in the grand scheme. And in the grand scheme, it's more important to be consistent, even if it's just for a minute a day, rather than study for hours once a week. The brain just doesn't work that way. Fifth, do you have a slowdown or relaxing routine that you do on the weekends or whenever you have free time? And if you didn't do it, you'd feel overwhelmed? Leave us a comment and let us know what it is. For some, it could be reading, watching TV, or going to a cafe and doing nothing for a bit. You're there on your own, you don't have much to do in front of you, even if it's just 10 or 15 minutes. And if you're settled, you start feeling in control. And that's the point you have some mental bandwidth. You can start doing some time management and plan your week out. You can put in a few minutes of language learning. But if you don't slow down and if you feel overwhelmed, you could have the easiest possible way to learn a language. And you still wouldn't do it. So, back to you. If you were busy, do you think you'd be able to learn a language? Leave us a comment. So, thank you for watching this episode of Monthly Review. Do you record yourself speaking your target language? If you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. And if you're ready to finally learn language the fast, fun, and easy way and start speaking from your very first lesson, get our complete learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account right now. Click the link in the description. See you next time. Bye!
Hello sa inyong lahat, ako si Erika. Matapos ang isang linggo ng kalungkutan, sa wakas, araw na ng pagdiriwang. Ang linggo ng pagkabuhay ay isang araw ng katuwaan at selebrasyon para sa mga Pilipino. Para sa maraming Katoliko, ang salubong ay hindi lamang nagaganap sa gabi ng Sabado de Gloria, kundi sa madaling araw rin ng linggo ng pagkabuhay. Maliban dito, marami pang mga tradisyon at gawain na nakapaloob sa araw na ito. Sa lesson na ito, alamin natin kung paano ipinagdiriwang ng mga Pilipino ang linggo ng pagkabuhay. Alam niyo ba kung ano ang piyesta na ginaganap sa linggo ng pagkabuhay sa probinsya ng Marinduque? Sasabihin namin ang sagot sa katapusan ng video na ito. Karaniwang nagpupunta sa mga simbahan ang mga naninirahan sa syudad sa umaga ng linggo ng pagkabuhay. Madalas sa mga probinsya, nag-uumpisa na ng alas 4 ng umaga ang mga unang selebrasyon. Ito rin ang salubong na ipinagdiriwang sa gabi ng Sabado de Gloria. Sa seremonyang ito, pinagtatagpo ang imahen ni Jesus at Maria sa labas ng simbahan. Sa mga probinsya, masasabing buhay na buhay pa rin ang mga tradisyonal na paraan ng pagdiriwang tuwing araw ng pagkabuhay. Dahil ito ay araw ng pagdiriwang at katapusan ng pag-aayuno, hindi mawawala ang pamilya, pagkain at kantahan, lalong-lalo na sa mga Pilipinong tahanan. Ang bawat pamilya ay mayroong kanya-kanyang paraan ng pagdiriwang, pero madalas na sila ay nagtitipon-tipon para sa isang maliit na handaan. Madalas na iba't ibang klaseng mga putaheng karne ang inihahanda sa panahong ito. Maliban dito, hindi rin mawawala ang Easter egg hunting at Easter egg painting contest para sa mga bata. Kamakailan lamang, nagiging popular ang mga ganitong klase ng selebrasyon sa Pilipinas. Pinangungunahan ng mga mall at mga ilang malalaking kumpanya ang mga ganitong klaseng selebrasyon na dinadaluhan ng mga bata at mga matatanda. Ito ay isa sa pinakamatrapik na araw sapagkat napakaraming mga tao ang nagbabalikan na sa syudad. Madalas na puno ang mga paliparan, pier at terminal ng mga bus sa araw na ito. Kaya kung nasa Pilipinas ka sa araw na ito, mag-ingat sa trapiko. At ngayon, ibibigay ko na ang sagot sa tanong kanina. Alam niyo ba kung ano ang piyesta na ginaganap sa linggo ng pagkabuhay sa probinsya ng Marinduque? Ito ang Moriones Festival. Piyesta ito kung saan ang mga tao ay nagbibihis at nagsusuot ng mga moryon na maskara para gayahin ng mga Romanong sundalo. Isinasadala sa piyestang ito ang buhay ni Santo Longinus, isang Romanong senturyon na bulag ang isang mata. Kamusta ang lesson na ito? May interesanteng bagay ba kayong natutunan? Anong klaseng pagdiriwang ang ginagawa nyo sa araw ng pagkabuhay? Mag-iwan kayo ng komento sa filipinopod101.com. Hanggang sa susunod na lesson!
Expand your vocabulary with our Core 2,000 Words ebook. It's free and packed with essential expressions that you'll use on a daily basis. Start building your vocabulary today. Click the link in the description below to download your free Filipino ebook before it's gone.